Holy moly, guacamole, Square Enix, you are so clever and trolly. What's good, my fellow peasants? How are you all doing? I'm just gonna go straight into it, no bullshit, no fucking around. We have so much to talk about. So I'm gonna drop a bomb on you from the word go. I got this posted to me on Twitter. This is big news. This means so fucking much. Lunafreya has an armiger weapon. She has a fucking armiger weapon. The trident, her weapon, the one that we've seen her holding in many trailers, in many depictions, is an armiger weapon. Here is the proof. And we know that armiger weapons are weapons of Noctis' ancestors. I've said what they mean. I've said what I think is happening to Noctis' ancestors. I said that I believe Noctis' ancestors are responsible for the plague of the star, and they're responsible for a lot of the bad in the world as well as the good. Again, nothing is either good or bad. And guys, this really does confirm what I think about Noctis' family. And you're probably thinking, how? How could Lunafreya holding the trident mean that? Well guys, Lunafreya holding the trident means a great many things. This is going to get your brains working on a whole new level. The FF15 story is even bigger. Fuck, it's getting bigger by the day. There's going to be a poll at the end. So I want you all at the end to press the I in the little corner at the top. Go vote. Let's get into it. Now, with all of the options, I'm going to present them on a Luna and Gentiana basis, and you're probably wondering why. Well, remember what I've been saying about Gentiana, that I think she's an astral. We had that video where we was debating whether she was hashtag Team Leviathan or hashtag Team Shiva. This was the poll result, guys. Of course, an overwhelming number of you believe she is an astral. Also, I think the evidence is all quite clearly there. But I'll admit there was arguments on both ends, and I said I was hashtag Team Shiva. Well guys, this is going to blow your fucking mind. I said it because look at this resemblance between the Justice Monsters 5 Shiva and the and Gentiana. I'm going to say, I said I was hashtag Team Shiva. I'm now edging back towards hashtag Team Leviathan. You're probably thinking how? Well guys, it literally is down to this picture. Down to the fact that we now know Lunafreya has an armiger weapon. And the reason I'm roping Gentiana into this is because, of course, she is the only other person to have held the trident. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say I don't believe for 1 second, if she is an astral, that there is a flying spaghetti monster of a chance that she doesn't know what she's holding. She knows that is a Lucis ancestor weapon. She knows. And that means a great deal. That means a great deal, and this is really where sort of the allegiances come into it that I was saying about. Remember guys, I've been saying nothing is either good or bad. I believe there are two routes with this story. Noctis is a route to saving the world, and Lunafreya is a route to saving the world. And I think the great tragedy is that it's one or the other. I don't believe that there's actually a way that both of them are going to save the world. And I think that is what this is going to come down to. And that's kind of the tragedy, that Lunafreya seems to be helping Noctis, and I think she could be helping Noctis at her own peril. And I've said I think this is going to cause a power struggle among the astrals, that they're not all going to be lumped into one bracket. The square are going to be much more experimental, diverse with sort of whose side they are on. And this Genesis picture, I've said, no, this could be depicting it. Astrals on one side, we know that Noctis has Titan and Rama, and you know, I think we've also had it confirmed that he can summon Shiva as well. And then could we see this potentially as being what I've been saying, Leviathan and Bahamut on the other side, or Leviathan and Diablos, where it may be on the other. And that really tied in well with what I'd been saying about Gentiana, that I think she's going to be an enemy of Noctis. I think that she is supporting Lunafreya's path, and that is what the conflict could be. And that kind of was also depicted in where they placed Gentiana on the Versus 13 side. They sort of placed her on the, what we call the bad side, even though, like I said, I don't think it comes down to good and bad, but they placed Gentiana on the opposite side to Noctis. And now you're probably wondering, what has this got to do with the trident? Well guys, this is option 1, because these are the only logical options I can see. Gentiana knows it is an armiger weapon, but Lunafreya doesn't. Now let's consider this option, guys. If this is the option, We could actually see this as Gentiana was keeping the trident away from Noctis, stopping him from getting his arsenal, stopping him from collecting his arsenal. And you know who that puts Gentiana in competition with? Because I've said I believe that Gentiana is Luna Freya's astral and Corleonis is Noctis's astral. That puts Gentiana and Cor on the same level, on the same motives. We have Corleonis trying to help Noctis gather the armiger weapons, and we have Gentiana stopping him. She was holding the armiger weapon. She was stopping, because of course that would be the best way to stop him. If Noctis is only going to do what he needs to do, or his power is going to complete once he has all the weapons of his ancestors, if you're his enemy, what's the best way you can stop him? Hold one of the weapons hostage. And guys, if that's the case, then of course how would that all play out? And remember, this is just option 1. How would that play out? Because we see Noctis in this picture, he has finally got his armiger weapon. And this is what I think. Imagine this, Luna Freya doesn't know that she has an armiger weapon the entire time. Then she finds out the truth of it, and of course we know that Luna Freya, she's put her faith in Noctis. Now imagine she steals the trident, she takes the trident away from Gentiana and she separates from Gentiana. I think there's definitely a hint of separation. The reason you saw that in my other video is Gentiana isn't in Kingsglaive. Now I haven't seen Kingsglaive, so if I'm wrong on that, don't actually correct me because I haven't seen the film yet. I fucked up, I didn't get tickets for it. I'm so depressed, but I'm not even going to begin to broach that subject. So if Gentiana isn't in the entire movie, and I've said, why is Gentiana not in the movie? And I theorised that it could be because Luna Freya deceived her that she was going to Ortisia. And that's part of the deal that Arden brokered as well, and that could be where Gentiana is going. And that was the strongest evidence for #Team Leviathan, is because as Noctis arrived in Ortisia, he would arrive there the same time as Gentiana, and that's where they could have fought back in the Versus 13 trailers. But, if Luna Freya has stolen the trident because she does believe in Noctis, unlike Gentiana, unlike Niflheim, unlike Ravers, Idolers, everyone else, she is the only one, it seems, who has any faith in Noctis. If she decides to help him, and at a later date, after not knowing what the trident was, she then finds out what it is, this could be her trying to take the trident to Noctis, trying to get him the armiger weapon. And you know what that would mean? Gentiana would lose her shit. Gentiana would hunt down Luna Freya, go to Ortisia to find her, or wherever this was taking place, and confront Luna Freya. And of course, if Luna Freya is really setting her ways on helping Noctis and defying this, there's only one path, I'm an oracle, therefore Noctis is my enemy, she's trying to find a way where everybody wins. What would happen? Leviathan would come out of the water, who is Gentiana, and Luna Freya would adamantly say, I vow the king will prove himself worthy, as she stands her ground against Gentiana, against handing over the trident. Now that's a possibility, guys. And even if Gentiana isn't Leviathan, that could still be what is happening, and that is why Oracle is standing her ground against a guardian of the world. Because there has to be a reason there, and a reason why that astral is doubting Noctis, as she's having to vouch on behalf of Noctis. And this leads me into option 2. If Gentiana isn't Leviathan, if she is in fact still, as I originally was, #Team Shiva, and she is on this side of the Genesis picture, and they are together trying to get the weapon to Noctis. And the reason that could make sense, she would then be actually working towards the same goals as Corleonis. So of course, like I said, Corleonis, we've seen evidence that he is trying to help Noctis gather the armiger weapons. Now, the reason why, and I should probably put in at this point, why I don't think this is the route, and why I'm actually leaning away from Team Shiva. If you're still Team Shiva, if you're compelled by this Justice Monsters 5 sort of image comparison and all the sort of evidence there, as I really was, but let me just share what's made me move away towards it being Shiva, or her being Shiva, or Gentiana being on Noctis' side. The reason for that is you heard me before say that I think Noctis is killing astrals. and how I think that is a bad thing, because in Norse mythology, when all the guardians of the world get killed, Ragnarok begins. And I believe that Noctis is unknowingly going around killing the Astrals. Now, some of you pointed out he's not killing the Astrals. He's not killing them, and I can explain it a bit better for what I mean by that. When Noctis is fighting Titan, he has all these spikes in his face. He gets his arm chopped off, and he is a mashed up mess. Correct? So why is it then that when Noctis summons him, he has none of that? When he summons him, look, he's all fresh, he's all clean, he's all, he ain't got an arm missing. That's because I believe what Noctis is doing is he's essentially killing the summons. What he's doing is practically killing them, because what I believe Noctis is doing is he is absorbing their power, he is absorbing their spirit, just like he can absorb the spirit of the armiger weapons. This is clearly a power that Noctis has. He can absorb the spirit of the weapons, and although he leaves the physical behind, we've seen he can then turn the spirit of the weapon into something he physically wields. It just comes out of thin air. I can't see any reason why the Astrals are any different, because they come back in a physical form, but he has the spirit of them. And of course, why is that bad? Why is that bad, Peasant? Because Arden wants that, and anything Arden wants, because we've had the description, they called him oily. The voice actor actually called him oily. He is a sneaky snake. Arden wants that. He leads them to Titan, and that makes sense. How can he get the hold of the power of the Astrals himself? Is if he has someone else, aka Noctis, turn it into a wieldable form. That way Arden can get his hands on it, Arden can get it for himself, Arden can then rob Noctis of it at a later point. But I'm going to go more into that later, exactly what Arden's doing and how he's actually leading them around the world and manipulating people. I'm going to have a whole theory video surrounding that. That's going to be really dope. But getting back on track, the reason why I then don't think that Gentiana might be Shiva, or I've moved away from it, is that means, because we've seen, I believe it was in one of the breakdown videos that Aliasan did, I can't remember who it was, but we pretty much had it confirmed that Shiva is going to be an Astral that Noctis can summon. That means that Noctis has to do that to Gentiana, if that's the case. We've seen no evidence that Noctis can summon Leviathan, but we've seen definite evidence that he can summon Shiva. Now, of course, this ain't gonna be a long stretch to say, if Noctis goes and fucking chops Gentiana up or turns her into a wieldable bloody form, I don't think that's gonna sit too well with Luna Freya, and of course perhaps that will happen. So this is gonna be option number 2. Both Gentiana and Luna Freya know, and I'm gonna put good in brackets because both of them know, and they are both trying to get the weapon to Noctis. I'm going to add a third option, and that option is Luna Freya doesn't know, and I'm going to put in brackets accident. And this is going to be quite a cool option. I could actually see it possibly happening in the game. If, say, when Luna Freya and Noctis meet up in the game, as they inevitably will, let's say Luna Freya doesn't know what she's holding, that she doesn't know she has an armiger weapon. You could have quite a cool scene. Imagine it now. Noctis, he even goes near the trident. He puts his hand near it, and suddenly, boom! An ancestor, the spirit comes out of the weapon and goes into Noctis' chest, and it would be like a moment of holy shit. Like, that would be quite a surprising moment in the game. Just imagine it if the spirit suddenly flies out, goes into Noctis, and then Luna Freya's like, holy fuck, and Noctis is like, holy fuck, and everyone else is like, holy fuck, you was carrying an armiger weapon. And of course, that's suddenly going to be a tense moment. Then Luna Freya's going to be like, I've had one the other time, and who's she going to look to? Or who's her head going to turn to? Gentiana. Luna Freya's going to be like, why didn't Gentiana tell me? How did Gentiana have this weapon, or wherever she got this weapon from? And that would throw things into question. It would be a very tense situation. It'd be such a cool sort of plot twist that... so that will be that option. The third option, Luna doesn't know, brackets, accident. But it is time to get down to the fourth option, the darkest option, and that is that both Gentiana and Luna know they have an armiger weapon, but are purposely keeping it a secret from Noctis. Now, this option is going to lead me into a tragedy, into a betrayal video, sorry. And the reason I want to do a betrayal video is going to be to line up who the traitor is, who the betrayer is going to be. Because guys, remember I said in verses 13, I really don't think the story has changed much. And the reason for that, I'm not going to talk too much about it now, is because I said that I still saw that this was going to be a dark ending. Everything seemed to be alluding to it. Everything seemed to be pointing that way, to tragedy and betrayal. No, we hadn't heard of that since verses 13 days. Some people were disagreeing with me though. They were saying, oh, it's taken a gear shift. It's moved away from that sort of dark language that we're using. And I said, no, I still think it's going to be in the game in a huge prevalent way. That's why I did the tragedy and betrayal video. And then we had it confirmed in the voice acting, the voice actors video. It was literally said, the stakes are high, people lose a lot, or they suffer a lot of losses. And also, the guy who plays Ignis, he said, this is a story of betrayal. So it reared its head again. It had gone quiet since verses 13, but we're back to this being a story of betrayal, guys. And that means that you have to set your eyes to who the betrayer is. And if this is the, if Luna does know that she has an armager weapon, as well as Gentiana, and she's purposely kept it from him, that could be the betrayal. That she was holding back the last armager weapon, or one of the armager weapons. She was stopping Noctis. Luna Freya had it, and she knew she had it, and she held it back. But, my dears, before we finish this video, it could be completely in ignorance. It could be that Luna Freya doesn't know. But this is what you all need to bear in mind, and this is what I am 100% convinced of. Remember guys, I said that I believe the Noctis ancestors are responsible for bringing about the plague of the star. Well guys, what does Luna Freya, what is her power as an oracle? She holds back the plague of the star. That's her duty. And I've always wondered, how does she do that? What does she do? What have we seen? We know that she goes through some sort of ritual. That's what we do know. But guys, what does she use during her rituals? Look at this picture! She uses the trident! Oh my god, guys! And that is it! That is the link! That is why they have an armature weapon. This is how they hold back the plague of the star. They've been using an armature weapon. Puts the rivalry that I said of Noctis' family being those who sit above in shadow, Falsi, the ones who Regis made a deal with 3 gods. I believe that they're going to be based on Ymir, Surt and Mimir, 3 of the original Norse giants. I believe that pact could have been for power to keep the crystal going. What Regis gave up in place of an eye, I said, was that he becomes one. Could it be Noctis? Did he offer his son's life and that's why he was mourning him? All these possibility, guys. But it leads back to what I've been saying, that Luna Freya is on this tier, the tier of the gods, that she can commune with the gods. When she's walking along the wall, she's speaking about the gods to the gods. She's clearly a strong believer in her religion and in her faith. And I believe that Noctis' family have been against the gods above gods, those who manipulate and use mankind, those who bring about the plague of the star. Luna Freya is using an armature weapon in her oracle rituals. That is the source of the plague of the star. That could be how they're holding it back. Us keeping the weapon from Noctis, or using it, kind of like using the source of the magic against itself to prevent itself, that kind of thing. And that could mean that if Noctis does get a hold of it, might not be a good thing. If Noctis does get that weapon, that trident, that could then unleash the plague of the star, and that would be kind of Luna Freya putting all of her trust in Noctis. If she gives him that final armature weapon, boom, she no longer has a trident, she no longer has the weapon that she's been using for her oracle rituals. That's how the plague of the star comes back, because it's all come to a climax. Now, why does she give it to him now? Because it's all come to a climax, it's all come to a peak. Niflheim are attacking because they are there to finally wipe out the Lucis bloodline, the corrupt Lucis bloodline, who have kept the Ragnarok cycle in place. They've been responsible for a lot of the world's darkness. Noctis he's not responsible for it, but he's wrapped up in it, and it's come to a point where Luna Freya has a decision to make. Does she continue holding onto the armature weapon and doing her duty as an oracle, but at the expense that Noctis and Regis and the Lucis bloodline Niflheim aren't going to stop until they're destroyed? Or does she give the armiger weapon to Noctis and puts all the eggs in his basket, all her faith that with those weapons he, once and for all, with the power of the Brotherhood, just as Corleonis is trying to do, to end the cycles once and for all. It all connects, all of it guys. I'm so fucking hyped. If this is the story, oh my god. This is a deep story. This is an amazing story. Anything less than this, I will be underwhelmed. This needs to be FF16 if this isn't the case. And I just want to point out, before I move on to my betrayal video, that this option of Luna Freya not knowing still applies to this picture. She might be an oracle. This doesn't necessarily mean she's been knowingly betraying Noctis from the go. It could come at a later point that she has to betray him, but I'm going to get onto that in my next video. What I'm saying is, she might not know, even when she's performing these oracle duties, what she's holding. She might not know even then exactly what it is she's got in her hands and sort of the significance of it. This puts a lot of context to the whole Niflheim, Tenebrae and Lucis relationship. I've been saying that I believe Niflheim's one and only goal is the Lucis bloodline, and some of you are questioning, okay, well if that's the case, why do they go for Tenebrae? Why do they attack Tenebrae if that's the case, Peasant? This is the case, guys. If Luna Freya has one of the armiger weapons, how does she have one? Maybe they offered it to Tenebrae as a sign of peace, as a sign of allegiance at the time, because of course we saw Regis was desperate. He went to Tenebrae, his son needed healing, and Tenebrae, being the peaceful nation that they are, Luna and Ravus' mother and father, they seem like good people, they accepted them in. But Niflheim haven't been a nation of conquest for that long. How do I know? And how do I know that only problem is with Lucis? It's because, isn't it funny? Isn't it a bit of a coincidence that the moment that Tenebrae offered Lucis shelter to heal his son, boom! That was the moment that Niflheim descended on Tenebrae. That was the moment they attacked. We know that because we know that the second they attacked, it was when Regis was there, and of course Regis, he lost grasp of Luna Freya, which puts huge context to Ravus' hatred, because we've seen that Ravus is part of the Niflheim Empire. Why would he be part of the Niflheim Empire when it was Niflheim who came and killed his parents? That makes no sense. Well, the reason for it, guys, is it was because of Lucis. They came to Tenebrae, and it was because they came to Tenebrae that Niflheim attacked, because of what the Lucis household stand for and the curse that they are bringing to the world. And that's why Ravus' parents got killed. That puts so much explanation as to why Ravus blames Lucis. He has made the irrational blame that my parents brought you in, gave you refuge, and because of that they got attacked. They offered you refuge and then you ran away and didn't defend them. Remember, Ravus, he looks back and says, King Regis, please help us. But of course Regis, he gets out of there, and that's why Ravus has spun it as that, as it was Lucis' fault. Whereas Luna Freya, she sees it for what it is. She sees it as, it was Glauca who stabbed our mum, it was Niflheim who actually killed our parents, and that's why the siblings are seeing this at two different angles. And it kind of makes sense. We've never seen any hint of Ortisia being attacked. We've never seen any hint of Solheim being attacked. We've never seen, for the previous 150 years, Tenebrae are clearly very vulnerable, a very vulnerable nation. Niflheim never attacked until the moment that Regis took his son there. And of course, instantly after, they then turn on Lucis. They tried breaking the barrier down and had no success. They haven't had a success for 150 years. And that is also why, as the voice actor said, he says Noctis and co, they lose, they always lose at every turn. This is a story where the characters lose a lot. That's because the whole world will be against them. Who's going to offer them refuge after what happened to Tenebrae? But I've gone on this long enough. So much to talk about. This is like an iceberg. I'm not even brushing 10% of what I want to talk about, guys. Just not enough damn time. So it's time to vote. What do you think? What do you think the reason for Luna Freya having the armiger weapon? What do you think it's all about? Do you think it is 1, Gentiana knows, but Luna Freya didn't know? and helps, bracket helps. Or number 2, both Gentiana and Luna help, and they are both on Noctis' side. Number 3, Gentiana knows, Luna Freya doesn't know, and accidentally puts it into Noctis' hands. It'll be a shock moment. Oh my god, I've had an armiger weapon the entire time. Or is it number 4, they've both known the entire time it was an armiger weapon? Personally, if you want to know what I think, I won't let too much influence here, because it really could be any of those 4 options. I'll just say my personal opinion. I think that she doesn't know. Luna Freya has never known what the armiger weapon is. Gentiana knows full damn well, is opposing Noctis. Luna Freya finds out. She intentionally tries to get it to him, take it to him, has full faith in him. She even stands in the face of Astrals who doubt him, Astrals like Leviathan. She stands strong. I vow the king will prove himself worthy. She puts all her eggs in her basket, his basket, sorry, because that is the only way that Luna Freya can see everybody coming out of this alive. This is the only way that Luna Freya can see any hope that everyone can see the dawn. And that would mean so much on a thematic level. Remember, the end of the game is going to be the dawn. It is going to be the dawn. We have Eos God of the Dawn. And remember I said, Noctis' name meant night. How could anyone with the name Night be there to see the dawn? That is exactly what the dawn takes away. And then I said in my Tragedy and Betrayal video that Luna's name meant moon. And the moon is one of the things that disappear with the dawn. Well, I was wrong, guys. The moon can be there when the dawn comes. You can have the moon during the daytime. Do you know what that means, guys? That means that the moon is one of the only things that bridges the night and the dawn together. That is the one thing that connects the night to the dawn. And that would mean that Luna Freya is Noctis' one and only bridge to seeing the dawn. Noctis' only hope of salvation. Holy shit. Square, if this is the story, if this is how deep you have gone, not only is this going to be one of the deepest, most profound Final Fantasies, you will end up creating one of the greatest ships. Because that is beautiful on a thematic level that I have never seen before. That is deep. That is balls deep. I'm out, guys. I'm out. Until the next video, guys. Cool.